Hello. I'm often talking about this idea of autistic traits that clash. They may clash within the same person, but I mean, clashing with other people's. We like to connect with other people who are autistic or ADHD or neurodivergent because, we can feel like we found our tribe sometimes, but what I've learnt since diagnosis, be nearly, 3.5 years ago, more than 3.5 years ago, is lots of traits. Actually, there's lots of autistic traits, and they can clash with those of other people's. Um, an example would be when people write, a lot of autistic people find it difficult to summarize in posts, like on social media. So they might, or in emails, and I may be guilty of the same, but I know that some people have just write long, really, really long posts or send really, really long messages, and that clashes with I mean, I've probably done them myself, but that clashes with overload for me. So it's somebody having a lack of a filter, perhaps, or not knowing how to summarize, clashes with um, my sensory overload. I think I can't take all this in. This post is too long. I can't deal with it. So that's an example of a clash. And sorry, she used the Trump word, but who's trumps who's, and it shouldn't be maybe not a question of that, but really it's about trying to accommodate each other, really, and finding. And sometimes I've found that with post, you can, if you find it easier to send a voice note in reply, that person might find it easier to write notes, and you can reply with voice notes, so you can try and accommodate each other. And then there's rejection sensitive dysphoria, RSD, can come into can clash. You might feel, somebody might feel rejected because of your not replying to their long message and yet at the same time they're feeling RSD while you're feeling sensory overload. So again, it's a kind of a clash of different traits. You can understand the other person's, but just at that moment you think, I can't deal with that long message. At the same time, you realize that they might need to share and have you acknowledge. So it's really difficult. And there's rejection sensitive dysphoria, RSD, can, and demand avoidance. So you might not want to answer something because you feel it's a demand, and that other person might think, oh, they haven't answered because I'm start feeling RSD. What have I said? What did I do? And the other person's thinking, help, please don't ask me anything at the moment. Yeah, that's I wrote down stimming and sensory pain. I'm not quite sure what was in my mind. That was another clash, but yeah. No, I know. Yes. Somebody might need to pop poppers, with bubble wrap, or tap something loudly, or that might be their stim. Their way of kind of regulating their emotional regulation or sensory stimulation, but it's causing somebody else sensory pain. I mean, it's like music, actually. Music can be it's not really a stim, although some people might say, something that's self-stimulating. Music can be very emotionally regulating, but other people's music with bass beats impinging on you, again, clash is there. Again, blunt talk, people saying, yes, do, you should be able to speak straight, and or some people just don't realize they're being blunt, and yet somebody might feel, oh God, oversensitive, because autistic people are hypersensitive. Sorry, over sounds critical but hypersensitive, and somebody else is talking bluntly, and again a clash, you know. And again, talking bluntly and people pleasing. Somebody might feel, I wouldn't say that, you know, I wouldn't be so, you know, blunt talking, and they want to please people. So all these things that are part of being autistic, all these things that people do, can actually clash either within the same person at different times, or often between people, is particularly if people have those traits a lot and they're clashing with another person's traits a lot. So what I suppose I'm trying to say is it's a myth to think, oh, we're all autistic, therefore we all get on. And no, sometimes the traits can clash a lot. Yeah. Anyway, it's a bit long now, so yeah, I just wanted to talk about that today. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye.